Hello, everyone. I'm Jim Garrison, and I want to welcome you to day 288 of Humanity Rising. Today, we want to explore the very important and fundamental domain of tolerance and peace. It was announced over the last couple of days that the United States will be formally, completely withdrawing from Afghanistan on August 1st. Signaling the end to the longest war that the United States has fought in its 248-year history. And it signaled a lot of debate around the world about the American presence in the Middle East, the future of the Middle East. So today we want to delve into the whole matter of what it's going to take on planet Earth to bring humanity into such an alignment that tolerance spreads globally and that peace and harmony among the nations and between the peoples is effectuated in a way that it ensures the kind of stability, the kind of harmony that we know is possible for human beings. But as we look back over our history, has been so painfully absent. As we begin our program today, let us just take a moment and pause as we always do, and just gather ourselves for a moment, center ourselves in our bodies, take a deep breath, close our eyes and contemplate our hearts. Take just a minute and align yourself with your heartbeat in a spirit of gratitude and thanksgiving that you're alive. We're all alive at this most extraordinary moment in the human journey. Thank you, everyone. Now, with an open heart and a heart full of gratitude and love for each and every one of you who are joining our session today, I want to commence our program by indicating that we're going to be exploring a partnership today with the Global Council of Peace and Tolerance. And we are very grateful for the partnerships that have been developing over the last months out of Humanity Rising. It's been an extraordinary thing over this last 15 months or so since May of 2020 when we started Humanity Rising, that hundreds of organizations have come together and all kinds of initiatives have flowered as more than 350 organizations really contemplated how do we make humanity rise at this moment of extraordinary fragility in the global system, where the pandemic has forced nations all over the world into lockdown, isolation, social distancing. Economies have been shut down. People have been forced into a way of being for month upon month to which they were not in any way accustomed. And that's exacerbated all kinds of stresses in the global system. One of the partnerships that began to emerge over the last 6 months has been with the Global Council for Tolerance and Peace, and we've been very fortunate and privileged to meet several people there. Basma Al-Zain, who's the General Secretary of the Council, and His Excellency Ahmed bin Mohammed Al-Jarwan, who's the President and founder of the Global Council, who for many years was the President of the Arabic Parliament and involved in the armed forces of the United Arab Republic. And so we have been developing a master's program in tolerance and peace. And if you think about many of the programs in peace, it's been around conflict resolution and conflict avoidance. And this is one of the few programs that is emphasized not the negation of conflict, but how we proactively develop a posture of embracing tolerance, of respecting diversity, and proactively engaging in the instrumentality of creating peace as a positive orientation of our lives and our community. So today we want to explore with His Excellency and with Basma Al-Zain the reasons why they established the Global Council, what the priorities of the Global Council are, and then we'll turn our attention to the master's program in tolerance and peace studies that we're collaborating with them through Ubiquity University and a number of other partners that are dedicated to peace that have come together in our Peace Action Lab through Humanity Rising. So I want to welcome you, Your Excellency and Basma, to Humanity Rising. And let's start, Your Excellency, with you, and would love to hear a little bit more about your background and what your journey has been that led you to a sensitivity around tolerance and peace, and to actually set up the Global Council for Tolerance and Peace. What was your journey? Why did you do it? And what are your priorities?
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Garrison, and I'm honored to be with you today in the Zoom, also with Dr. Basma and Mr. Matt. I think he's also joining us, and the others as well. It's a great opportunity for us to learn and to collaborate with people like you, Mr. Garrison, and the whole team. The aim of forming or creating the Global Council for Tolerance and Peace is to uplift the values of tolerance and peace, where we all in need for working together to promote the tolerance, promote the peace among all over the earth, let me say. And we believe that there is a need for us to build those bridges and to learn and exchange experience between us. The Global Council for Tolerance and Peace, Doctor, and is one of the instruments we are having in United Arab Emirates, and also in the Arab world, let me say, to open our collaboration with our friends in the West and East and North, everywhere. And we are promoting the tolerance and peace, and we are investing in that to have more peaceful places for the future of our kids, for our future as well, and also for having those bridges where can be used by everyone, not only the politicians or the academic people, but for everyone, even the tourists, the commerciants, and all others are invited to support and to build with us those bridges. For now, we have more than 85 countries are joining us, which I think it's a big number, and it's a good number for us to work together. And we are also looking to more collaborate with you personally, Mr. Garrison, and our other friends also, and the other universities, to use the academia as a tool to promote and to facilitate for our partners and our followers, or the future of our kids, to know more about living together, about understanding each other, and about the respect, where we invest in that, to respect everyone, work with everybody, and also to see how we can use our capability. I don't want to talk about the wealth, but I'm talking about the capability, what we can put this capability to serve and to work and to build also what we are doing now as an international organization for tolerance and peace. Mainly, Your Excellency, and I believe you maybe read about that, and you got to know about what we are doing. The Global Council on Tolerance and Peace is an international umbrella, has two main pillars. The IPTP, which is the International Parliament for Tolerance and Peace, where we have our partners from the local regional parliaments and national parliaments are member under this umbrella, the IPTP. And we have the General Assembly, where we have three different units forming this General Assembly, which is we invited all the organization, clubs, groups whom are willing to work with us to spread the culture of tolerance and peace, and also to share with them ideas and to learn from each other what we can do. The second unit is the universities and the think tanks, Your Excellency, and I really appreciate the program we are sharing with you, and we appreciate Dr. Basma of all her initiatives and her effort to make this program happen. And maybe she will talk about it later on. And the third unit, Your Excellency, is the individuals, those whom are really experienced in tolerance, experience in spreading the peace and the tolerance around the world. So those main two organs are working for facilitating the mission of the GCTP to spread the culture of tolerance and peace. Also, Your Excellency, we in the GCTP, all our partners and our friends, they are believing in what we are doing, and also they are supporting us and inviting us in some areas where we needed to be in these areas, especially by providing them with advices and with facilitating if they are having any difficulties in having them working in those problems. So we facilitate their missions and we work with them, and we learn also from their problems and the result they've got. So this is mainly what we are doing, and this is why we are forming the GCTP, or this organization. It's because also we felt that there is a need. There is a need, Your Excellencies, for us to approach to each other. There is a need for us to work together and to learn from each other. This planet and this air belong to everyone. But I think there's good people and peaceful people where they need this more than some other people who are working for only for themselves. So we formed this platform to invite everyone, invite those good people like you, Your Excellency, and the team who's with us today in this meeting, to see how we can make better life for everyone, how we can share with them and also be with them in their problems. We are not leaving them alone. No, we are here to see how we can work together and how we can spend much of our time and our effort to help people, to support people in what they are doing. Thank you very much. I'm sorry for my poor English, but I really would I promise you that I will upgrade my language, and inshallah we will another time in better explanation what we are saying. Thank you very much.
Your English is very fluent and perfect, Your Excellency. Thank you so much. Let me just explore a couple aspects of what you said, because I'm very struck by the fact that you built a global council on tolerance and peace, and it feels to me to be extraordinarily timely. I know here in the United States, as you know from just listening to the news, we last year had the death of George Floyd. Yes. And the country's been really rent asunder by intolerance. That's been exacerbated by all the fake news that's out there that has put people around the world through social media in silos. So the amount, according to UNESCO, the amount of civil unrest and intranational conflict, in some ways because of the pandemic, has been exacerbated all over the world. So I would love to hear a little bit more about what you mean by tolerance, because it is such a timely word and concept in the world right now.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Mr. Garrison. Well, tolerance and peace, I think it's a way of living, how we deal with the others, how we deal with ourselves. Are we tolerant or not? And I think tolerance is not like what most of the people understood, that it's the forgiveness and or the generosity or being nice or smiling. No, the tolerance is a way of living with the people, as being in their food sometimes, and see how you work and you cooperate with them. Always when we are tolerant, or when we practice the tolerance, is, I believe, me as Ahmed, I believe that is my need for the others. It's not that I am giving them tolerance or I'm tolerant with them and I'm nice with them. No, I think it's my need for them, what I need from them, how we can work together with them. This is how how we can practice the tolerance. And also for what you mentioned about the light fluid in the States. I lived in America, and I really appreciated the time I've spent in the States for more than 6-7 years. And I know how the Americans are working very hard to promote the peace and also to maintain the peace somewhere in the world itself. And yes, it's I think we can learn and learn from the American culture about the tolerance and about the peace. what is being in the media, not only in America, but everywhere. I think the media, they have their own way to promote themselves, or how they make business from the news they are having. But we believe in the GCTP that there is a lot of good people around the world. The Americans are among them, and we really appreciated the culture of the American themselves. We cannot judge in the politics. The politicians they have their own way, they have their own visions, but we as a people, we have the same vision, which is being good and spending a life together, and dealing with each other together. When I was living in America, a little story I need to tell about. My neighbor was Jewish people, and we are Muslim. My wife covered and wearing hijab. Our first 2 days, we are just looking to each other from far. But just let me come to the end of the story. After 6 years, we have their kids, which they are 2 years and 3 years. They spend night, they sleep over in our house with our kids, where their parents, they are traveling or going, spending the weekend somewhere else. Means that there is a trust, and there is a way where we can be together. So this is when I explained the meaning of the tolerance is the way, it's a way of living. We had a neighbor also from Korea, which he's not Christian, he's not Muslim, he has his own way of religion, but ending up, when I come from my office, I see my wife and their wife, they're sitting in the garden and chatting and talking, and sometimes barbecuing together. So this is what we are looking for. This is where what we look to invite everyone to share with us those values. Thank you.
Yes, well, that's a beautiful story, Your Excellency, about the United States. And I wonder, just transferring this to the Middle East that has been so rent, really for the last 75 years, with almost perpetual conflict and war and rivalry, not only between the Israelis and the Palestinians and a number of the Arab states, but also with the U.S. invasions of Iraq and Kuwait and Afghanistan, and now the U.S. forces are going to finally withdraw from America's longest war, as they withdraw from Afghanistan. So would love to hear your understanding of the current situation, and as you apply your principles of tolerance and peace to the Middle East. What does that look like? What is your vision for that region?
Thank you very much, Mr. Garrison. Actually, we decided in the GCTP to not talk politics. So we leave the politics for the politicians. But what we can say here in
That's
this
dangerous.
Yeah. Well, what we can say in this, it's how or where we concentrate. For example, if the media and we concentrated in the Middle East, yes, we will see a lot of things. Many issues are there, many files we can discuss. But if we look to Africa, for example, they have maybe more than what we are having in the Middle East. Look to Latin America, for example, or Asia, or I don't want to mention Europe, where it's a little bit different, but everywhere, Your Excellency, it's what we are looking for, or what we want to gain from those areas. I think the Americans, they have their own right to do whatever they want to do, and this is normal. Each country and everyone has the right to see the benefit of the country, the benefit of the future. Like for us in United Arab Emirates, we signed lately an agreement with the Israelis, and we are working together with them. We are trying to see how we can support each other to maintain the peace in the area. But if we'll go to the deep reasons or the files of the presence of the Americans in the Middle East, maybe I am not the right one to answer this. And also we try to avoid, let me say, to talk about politics, because we invited our friends and our members to promote the tolerance, to promote the culture of the love. We don't talk in behalf of governments, or we don't talk or we don't explain and get reasons for the politicians of their vision and their interest, but we invite the governments, we invite the parliamentarians, we invite the intellectuals as well to advise us and to facilitate our mission to promote tolerance and peace. Everywhere there is a war, everywhere there is some conflicts. If you remember, for example, in Argentina and the UK, they had a war there and many casualties, and it's everywhere. So for us, we decided to not get into those issues, because it's not our areas of working. Our aim is to facilitate the mission for the students, for example, or for the youth people, the young people, to know how to talk about the peace, to understand each other, and also to respect the other culture, or the other religions, or the other people. In the end of the day, we are human beings, and we are sharing those values in everywhere in the Quran, or in the Bible, or the Torah, or all the other books. The culture of love is the first. Everyone promoting the peace. All the books, the prophets themselves, they were peaceful and promoting the love and the peace and the understanding. So this is what we are doing. We are following our prophets. We are following our leaders. We are everywhere we go to the mosque, we go to the church, we go to the other places, also to learn, and also to get advices from our partners.
Beautifully put. Beautifully put. Thank you. You know, that what you're emphasizing is there are many pathways to peace, and you know, the government to government has its own logic, but there's what we would call citizen diplomacy. There's the people to people exchanges.
The preventive diplomacy, Your Excellency.
Pardon?
The preventive diplomacy.
Yeah. And so that's very important distinction. And you know, we at Humanity Rising, we're bringing the people of the world together as people, and I think that's why we have been so struck by what you and Basma have been doing there at the Global Council for Tolerance and Peace. It's a perfect example of what Buckminster Fuller said many years ago, that the best way to bring about change is not to combat the old, but to create the new.
Create new, or to build on it, also to build in the future. That's absolutely right.
Yeah. So thank you so much. And I think at this moment, I'd like to bring you in, Basma. It's been such a pleasure working with you and various members of the council over the last several months as we've been crafting this master's program. So I'd like to just bring you into the conversation, and you're the director of the council, and would love to hear your views. How did you, for example, get involved with the council, and what, as you see it, are the priorities of the council moving forward, and the reasons for working to develop this master's program?
Thank you, Jim, for this kind invitation. I'm really honored to be with you today. And for sure, I'm honored actually to be part of this Global Council for Tolerance and Peace that I've joined in end of 2017. Since its launch, we met actually during one of the conferences, and His Excellency was making a presentation about the global that he was launching it and presenting its directions and its concepts, its objectives. And as you know, as an academicians, we have one of the pillars of higher education is actually the community service, and how we can not only just teach our students or provide them with the knowledge, but it's also how can we build their personality to accept the others? How can they really face the challenges? How can we prepare them to lead the future? How we can also prepare them to be change makers? And this platform, the Global Council for Tolerance and Peace, is one of these unique platforms that will allow students and allow everyone actually to contribute, to serve the community, to participate in making it a difference. And this is how I started with them. And I was actually in charge of the academic and scientific affairs and the Global Council for Tolerance and Peace. And we started with the direction and the guidance actually of His Excellency and his vision that is really unique regarding the priority, which is building the people and building the personality of people. So starting from being a kid until they graduate and they are working and they are actually a productive person in their community. So we started by academic, one of the first academic actually conference that was held in Malta, and it was entitled Academic Trends in Higher Education for Tolerance. And we have invited around 35 universities who participated from all over the world, and it was under the patronage of His Excellency, the President of Malta. It was also one of the unique, themes that was tackled for the first time at the higher education level. Most of the universities, they have already discussed issues related to peace, but no one yet tackled the tolerance perspective. So this was actually one of its, as we can say, it's one of its kind, somehow activity that was initiated by the council. And one of the actually recommendation or the deliverables of this conference was actually to initiate and to develop a master and then a PhD program. And this is how we started the master program. So the team there was really ambitious, and they believed in the idea. They were very passionate also to work toward this program. And we gathered a small group that you have already met with them many times. They gave from their personal time. They were actually committed and dedicated to finish this program. We started from scratch. There was no similar program from all over the world. We double checked, and we developed a unique program specifically targeting the issues that were not tackled before. How can we really build change makers, leaders, critical thinkers, and decision makers through this master program, and then that will be followed by later on and very soon with a PhD program also.
Well, I love the fact that you've emphasized, building the personality, sort of one individual at a time, because peace is actually a way of life. It's a way one orients oneself in the world in relationship to others. And the fact that you are developing a master's program that is really cutting edge and doesn't exist anywhere else is a real testament to you and His Excellency in terms of both your passion for this subject, but also the academic rigor with which you've entered this domain to really create something that will be additive to the overall field. And so I think I would like to now kind of focus on the master's program itself. And maybe Basma, if you'd like to describe it a little bit, because we're launching it together. we'll have our first course with His Excellency and a whole panoply of notable individuals from around the world for the course in September. So this is really real, everyone, and we invite you to go to our website. We'll put the link to our master's program up in the chat box. So let's just talk about the master's program, starting with you, Basma, and then we'll bring in several of the colleagues here at Ubiquity that are helping you to build it, because we really want to launch this master's out into the world and really create a cadre of empowered individuals that understand the critical importance of tolerance and the relationship between tolerance and peace. So Basma, why don't we start with you, and then we'll move it over to Shelley and Leslie on our team.
Thank you, Jim. So regarding the master program, the first thing that we have specified actually before starting with the different courses was to identify what are the knowledge areas that our graduates should actually have or get through this program. And the most important thing, as we just mentioned, as we are building the personality and also the future leaders and change makers. So we thought about the main knowledge areas that we had to focus on, such as conflict transformation, critical thinking, conflict analysis, dialogue, negotiation, innovation, and creativity. And it's really very important to talk about innovation in tolerance and peace. We don't want also to use the common techniques of solving problems, but we want to be creative and innovative in the way of tackling the problems and trying to find the appropriate solutions. So trying as much as we can, adopting the peaceful means. So how can our students be at the end, once they graduate, be able to adopt this peaceful mean for resolving disagreements and conflict. The second thing, that once we identify the knowledge areas, we identify the learning outcomes. So any program should have specific learning outcomes, and this is what we focused on. So how can we think and reason critically? How can we work with responsibility, creativity? How can we communicate, negotiate? How can, once we find the solution, try to transfer this knowledge and communicate this information to the others? Assess also the impact of the global problems on the economic, social, and political environment. The most important thing is the transfer of knowledge, of theories, concept, and research, and also to interpret and analyze. So the most important thing is how can we analyze data? Unfortunately, we found that there is lots of, let's say, gaps in the way of interpreting and analyzing the data that has been collected. And that's why also conflicts sometimes might occur. So how to interpret, how to analyze is really important, and for sure how to conduct the right research, collect the right information, and adapt it as a way to find the right solution for the current problems that we are facing nowadays. And then after that, we thought about what are the courses that will meet these knowledge areas and these learning outcomes. And this is how we identified that, okay, there are some core courses that we should focus on, that our students should have, but we want to give the students also the flexibility of being able to select the way that they want to be specialized. So either they go with, like the common track, which is human rights, international organization, and public diplomacy, but still also we gave them another track, which is technology, innovation, and leadership in tolerance and peace. And this is also what makes also our program a unique program. So we have core courses. So it's a master program of 2 years with it's research based. So it's not just a course-based master program. It's based on experiential learning. So students will learn through hands-on experience, through projects, through research. So it's not just about giving them the theory, but we'll show them how to apply it. And this is also a very important thing. As you know, lots of students, they have the knowledge, but they don't know how to use it. They don't know how to apply it in real life. So one of the techniques and the pedagogical techniques that we want to implement in our program is actually focusing on the hands-on experience and practical projects. With the last year, so this is where the students will be more specialized based on the track, and also they will have a thesis that they should present at the end of their at the fourth semester or the last semester of their academic journey in this program. We have added also one course, we called it the special topics, intolerance and peace studies. So to give the flexibility also to the faculty to tackle any important topic that is right now happening, for example, right now, so focusing on, let's say, I don't know, legal migration or any specific topic that should be handled, that should be tackled. So we give the flexibility to the professor to tackle these topics in one of these courses that we have offered, which is special topics, intolerance and peace. So it will give the flexibility to the program to be also up to date and at the same time tackling the most important, which are the core courses, in addition to the track courses and the special topics that is really recent and needs to be directly tackled. For sure, we went through the whole process of developing these courses, from the brief description to the course syllabus, covering the topics, the learning outcomes, the skills that our students should have, the techniques or the pedagogical techniques that should be implemented in the way of teaching this course, and so on. And for sure, your group was working really hard with us to make this applicable and to make it live.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. I think we'll bring in Shelley Alcorn at this point, who's been your principal partner from the Ubiquity side. Shelley, say a little bit more about the master's program in a way of complementing what Basma just laid out.
Absolutely. Well, I, for one, am thrilled with the fact that we have this program. And that the quality of work is absolutely top notch. And I truly believe that we're going to be able to change lives with this program. So for those of you who haven't necessarily seen the page, I want to show you a couple of things that you can take a look at as we're building, and we'll go from there. We're working individually with faculty. We have all of the courses, all of the course shells uploaded now, and we're just beginning to construct the content. As we said, we're kicking off in September with the one course and then kicking off in January 2022 with a number of other courses. But let me share my screen if I can. And we'll just take a look at a couple of things. So if you go to our website, ubiquityuniversity.org, and you want to learn more about the degree, what you would do is you would click Learning Pathways and then Degrees and Certificates. And this is the degree in Tolerance Studies and Global Peace in conjunction with GCTP. We're very proud of the partnership, and we're very happy to be working with such a qualified and dedicated staff. We have a welcome letter, of course, from Jim and from His Excellency. Knowledge areas, our development team and faculty, you can see that they're from all over the place. We have University of Maine, Bader University, University of Guadalajara, University of Lisbon, Sussex, Texas, Austin. So there's a lovely diversity in the faculty that is devoting themselves to developing these courses for you. Our entry, like any other university, is an undergraduate degree in any field with a transcript of proof of graduation. However, if you have extenuating circumstances and you have work experience and prior learning, please talk to our admissions people, because we may have some additional options for you if you haven't finished an undergraduate degree. Nora Cellini is our Director of Admissions and Enrollment, and her email is on this page for anyone who has questions. You can begin the application process here, and there's no application fee. As Basma mentioned, we have required core courses that are built: an introduction to tolerance and peace studies, conflict transformation, etc., and then the elective courses, which are explained here. From that page, you can also see our student handbook, which goes into more detail about the program and about Ubiquity and about GCTP, so you can learn more about what is happening. And last but not least, as I mentioned, we are beginning to upload all of the courses right now. And what's lovely is the course outcomes and competencies are so well described in the domains of knowledge, cognitive skills, interpersonal skills, communication, and psychometric skills. So these are coming in as we go through, and we will have plenty of more details for you as we continue to move forward with this exciting degree program. But I love the concept of starting with tolerance, because I agree that that seems to be the piece that's missing. It seems to be a lot about conflict resolution, but not about how to transform yourself. And that's what this particular program focuses on. And that's very in line with our values at Ubiquity University, and goes towards all of the different degree programs that we have that are focused on creating a better world. And how can we take agency among ourselves to do so? So we have lots of opportunities coming up, and we're very excited to be fully embroiled in the development at this point and looking forward to kicking off in September. If you have any questions, I'll drop my email in the chat as well. And you can feel free to contact me if you'd like to with any particular questions or anything I can help you with. And we look forward to having you join us soon in this type of exploration. And hopefully we'll be able to work on the PhD too, because that's very much in line with our PhD programs as well. So I just want to thank everyone for being so lovely to work with, and I'm having a lot of fun working on your program. So it'll be exciting to see it take off and really start changing lives.
Thank you, Shelley. Basma, or Your Excellency, are there any aspects that you would add or underscore to the master's program?
I would like to add something maybe I forgot to mention, if you allow me.
With pleasure, yes.
It's just, we're starting the first course, as Shelley and also Jim mentioned, in September. And we wanted to make it also a unique course delivered by key people from all around the world. So because the course is Introduction to Tolerance and Peace, and it will be presented by different guest speakers. We're bringing His Excellency will be delivering one of the topics. We're gonna have also members of our parliament who will be also participating. The President of Malta. We will also we're discussing the possibility if he's gonna be also able to tackle one of the topics. A Nobel Prize laureate will be also delivering some of these topics. Also, we have we're working on people from the Vatican, from Azhar. So we're going to have a big variety of key people from all over the world who will be participating and teaching the first course, just to give really the right flavor actually that should be offered to our students. So this is the only thing that I would like to add. Thank you so much.
Well, that's very important, and that actually leads to the next domain that I want to explore with all of you, and that is the partnerships that we are forming in and through this master's program. As you all know, anyone who knows about Ubiquity University or Humanity Rising, we believe in radical collaboration. We believe that in a world of rising turbulence and uncertainty, rising sectarianism, and climate change, pandemics, the world is getting increasingly chaotic. We all know that. And none of us are going to make it through on our own. We've got to hold hands. And that's why we're emphasizing the importance of this master's program conceptually as a proactive personal development in tolerance and peace, so that you can learn not only the essence, but build the personal skills required in an increasingly turbulent world to still maintain basic respect for the other, and to do so in such a positive way that you can collaborate, whatever the circumstances, to solve critical global problems. So I'd like to bring in Leslie Southwick Trask, who's our Chief Development Officer at Ubiquity, and who came in to Humanity Rising through the pathway of helping to set up with Kurt Krieger and others a peace action lab, where we began to bring together groups from around the world that had joined Humanity Rising or that were just out there. Because the vision, everyone, for this master's program is to work with the Global Council, which in itself is a network of groups from around the world, drawn from parliaments, academic institutions, and then to complement that and extend it through the 350, 400 organizations that are comprising Humanity Rising. As you all know, we're broadcasting out to tens of thousands of people every day in over 130 countries. So we really see this as an exercise in both personal development, but also collaborative action in very diverse quarters globally. So Leslie, you've been instrumental in developing all this with us. Would like to bring you in and have you share with us your views and some of the partners that are beginning to join this coalition.
Wonderful. Well, first of all, thanks, Jim. And I want to say it's lovely to meet you, Your Excellency. This is the first time that we've had a chance to say hello, and always lovely to see you, Basma, the light that you are. So thank you for sharing this time with us. I'm going to say a couple of things, because as we're building these partnerships, we're learning a few, I think, seminal insights that I see reflected actually in the chat today. And one of them is that through particularly the Master in Regenerative Action, we're learning that we have to unlearn a lot of what we thought was going to work, hasn't worked, and now having to rediscover what is salient in today's world. Another observation is that Gen Z, who are the youth coming into universities, do not really want to be taught and trained by people who have been the vestiges of a previous generation that have, in fact, created or disseminated some of the reality that they live in. And so when we talk about radical collaboration, we actually are talking about a radical different way of learning, a different way of showing up in the world. I mean, there's been a lot of chat on just the word tolerance, what it means, how different cultures interpret that word, how some might say, well, that means putting up with something that I don't want to put up with anymore, and I don't want to tolerate it. And Your Excellency did an amazing job in explaining an alternative view of what that word means. But what we're discovering as we build our partners is that there are significant voices that change isn't about putting something new into me. Change is about uncovering what is in me that I am ready to enact upon. And so we don't build a personality, we unleash a personality. I mean, Buckminster Fuller said right at the get-go that a human is a source identity, and the parent's job is to create the conditions under which that identity finds its way. And those kinds of thinking, those kinds of paradigms are what we have been exploring through the Peace Lab. So just to this point, Your Excellency and Basma, the main assumption, the main premise of the Peace Lab is to explore unexplored biases and assumptions, the unexplored ones, that by doing so, we unleash a different DNA of peace. So I'm curious to know, before I go into the partners, what is it that you've discovered with the Global Council and with the work that you've done on building this program with all of the incredible players that you've been able to assemble? What have you found are the most salient assumptions and biases that people have not been exploring, but when they do, they uncover a different pattern of peace?
Well, I don't know if I may say something here. Thank you for the question you are posing here. The main thing, what we got, my dear friend, is the welcome from everywhere where we go. The people are supporting the idea, and they really wanted us to work in that with them, and also open the opportunity for them to build the future, to build a new future for us, where all our defense minister, for example, of the future, our president, our intelligence, name it, if they grow up in this environment, the environment of peace, environment of tolerance, environment of love, I think we will get a better result than what we are having now. I don't know if I covered that.
What I'm hearing you say, Your Excellency, is that we are all welcoming this discovery, that it's within our innate desire as humans to uncover and discover our peacemaking ways. And what the combination is that you are creating change makers. So it's the combination of unleashing that peace DNA that we have and allowing it to transform into change making in the worlds that we can influence. Would that be a correct? I see your head nodding, Basma. That's a correct assumption.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. What you're saying is really right, is that we are preparing change makers. So this is why, and plus, as His Excellency just mentioned, there is right now, you can find people are eager right now to make this change. People are eager to accept the concept of tolerance and peace. They want to make this change. We notice that people are tired from conflict, tired from war, tired from violence. They want really to live in peace. Especially with this pandemic that have actually locked us inside our houses. So there is a big need right now to really build those personalities. And as you said, building change makers, it means that we need really to start from all perspectives. Many skills needs to be taught, especially negotiation, the acceptance of the others, respecting the others regardless of their beliefs, regardless of their background, regardless of their ideas. So we need to work on that. And I think that through the Global Council for Tolerance and Peace and its programs, its different activities, we are working on this from all different perspectives, not only from the academic perspective, but also from the other perspectives. True academic is important, and this is where we are be able to crystallize the personality of those students, starting, maybe it's true we started with a higher education level, but we're moving also later on down to the bachelor degree and also to the high school. We need to work with mediators. We need to build peace builders, tolerance advocates. So in order to do that, we have to go step by step.
Well, absolutely, one step at a time. So when we start thinking about the Ubiquity ecosystem, the ecosystem of partners, what our philosophy is that we go to where the action's happening. In other words, it's not about, necessarily advertising on a website saying, come for this course. It's actually going out and finding the networks that are already engaged in this kind of activity and who are looking for the connectivity to wisdom, to others, to insights, to experience that they can then integrate into their action. So one of the features that we are looking into exploring with you, as we've talked about, is how we build this network of on-the-ground action. It's not only where the students in the master's degree are applying their wisdom and knowledge from the programs that you're offering, but it's also to go out and connect with those who are in those spots around the world that could most be supported by this work, and engaging them and inviting them in to this work so that they are getting further equipped for what they're doing. So the added feature to this master's is the building of that global collaborative. And it's clearly an amazing start with the GAC. I mean, with the Global Council that you have created, 25 key members, a lot of work that you've done. And you've published a book, Basma. Did you not publish a book recently on this topic?
Yes, actually, this is the first academic book that was published by the Global Council for Tolerance and Peace. It was just recently published 3 months ago. The title was Paths to a Culture of Tolerance and Peace, and was written by different authors, professors from all over the world, from US, from Latin America, from Europe, from Africa, from Asia. People participated from and presented their different perspectives about tolerance and peace. One of the chapters was actually written by His Excellency about the Human Fraternity document and the importance of that document as also a way of living.
Well, I think that's one of the ways in which we disseminate wisdom, isn't it? Is through these gathering of many voices. And I think that's, your book is a testament to the type of work that you're doing as a faculty. You're doing this in collaboration. So collaboration was part of that, of the creation of the council. Collaboration is what you've been building in terms of the program. And collaboration is what we're going to be doing as we extend the network beyond where it exists today. So I want to say to you that we have 350 counting partners, of which this topic is the most significant. This notion of how do we bring about a peaceful, harmonious world in a world that is going through significant chaos as we transition from one epoch to another. We are in the midst of one of the most seminal changes that humanity has ever experienced. And I'm not just talking about the pandemic. I'm talking about the reality of our climate, of our entire ecosystem that's under attack. And if we don't understand the culture of peace as we go about regenerating this planet, we won't get to where we need to be. They go hand in hand with one another. So we see a real affinity between our global network for regeneration and our global network for peace and tolerance as an integrated work around change making around the world. So we have a lot to do. There's work ahead of us. I think that what's seminal is that we trust each other. We trust what we're doing with each other. We understand that cultures are different. And as we explore these cultural variances, we come from a place of love. And that's what I loved about the introduction to the fact that it's a culture of peace. And it really is brought to life through the culture of love. And with that, I want to say, I can't wait to do more global network building with you.
Thank you, Leslie. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Thank you. Your Excellency, would love to hear a little bit more about the chapter in the book. It's a fascinating title that Basma gave us on what you wrote. Just as an insight into your mind, tell us a little bit more about the chapter you wrote.
Yes, thank you very much. Actually, we we wanted to concentrate it in the chapter I wrote in this book about the fraternity which took place in the Emirates in 2020 between His Eminency the Pope Francis and Sheikh Al-Azhar Ahmed Al-Tayyib, and that was for the first time in the Arab world and also in the Muslim world and the Christians also, to have those two big leaders to get together and to shake hands and to work together and to call for a peaceful life and communication between the nations, let me say, because and also where we wanted to mention that the role of my country, the United Arab Emirates, worked in making this meeting or agreement real and took place in the Emirates. And also it's part of our doctrine to show the importance of getting together, working together, respecting each other between the Christians and the Muslim, and also our other partners, the Jewish and the other culture, let me say. So I'm really inviting you to read this book. It's been published electronically, and I think Dr. Basma can share with us in the group also, or to send you the link of the book itself. And we think that this book will be one of the resources where the student may look at and get some information for their courses. And also, if you will permit me to say today that we are inviting also our partners, our friends, to participate and to cooperate with us to write more books and more sources for our students, let me say, to enable them and to help them in their studies. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Basma, is there anything you would like to add about what the book covers, or anything that you contributed?
I think we have covered everything, but maybe the book is really one of the main resources for this program. It's actually the first one, but we are working on a series of textbooks to support the master program. So we're working right now that each course of this program will have its own textbooks that will be developed by the partners of the Global Council for Tolerance and Peace. And we are making call also for chapters proposals on different topics, covering the different topics of the master program. And it will be published in series one after the other one, so that we are sure that the skills and the knowledge that wanted to be really gained by our students has been reflected in those materials that will be used by the students. These books actually, or these textbooks, are not only targeting the students, they can be used or read by politicians, they can be accessed by anyone who's interested really in practicing the tolerance and peace, because we have lots of chapters that are actually more case studies and reflecting what's happening and how people that dealt, as we say, like success stories about issues happened in certain countries. So this will give the flavor to the students to see what happened and how it has been applied, or how those skills has been applied in real life. So we're working on that, and for sure, everyone is welcome to participate and to submit a proposal for a chapter to be later on edited and to be added in our series of these, the textbooks published by the Global Council for Tolerance and Peace.
Beautiful, thank you. As we bring this session to a close, I want to underscore something that Leslie said, which I think is very important for us to bear in mind. And then I would like Basma, you first, and then His Excellency to just talk to us about your vision of the future, both for the Council and our MA and for tolerance and peace. But I think Leslie was bringing in some very important aspects about our world, and that is the imperative to engage as much in unlearning as learning. You know, if you look around the world, we've completely made a mess of things, thinking we knew what we were doing. And we not only didn't know what we were doing, we caused conflicts all over the world with each other. We've degraded the natural ecosystem almost beyond repair. And so when we think about learning, almost on any subject, but particularly around the issues of peace and war and tolerance and social harmony, we really need to engage in a process of unlearning what we thought we knew. And I think that's one of the opportunities in this new master's program. You know, and the second point, which I think is also really important for us, particularly those of us who are a little older, to bear in mind, is that this new generation, these Gen Zs that are coming up, you know, born since 2003, all over the world, the oldest of the Gen Zs turned 18 this year. They're ready for university. They're ready for graduate programs in a year or two. And they're not interested in the kind of traditional modalities of learning or being that we thought were completely normal. So part of the challenge for those of us of more age maturity, shall I say, is that we need to really recognize that not only have we made a mess of things, but that the requirements for learning have been completely, radically transformed. And it's only if we understand that we will be able to craft something that will unleash these young people into the world with the kind of mindset and tool set and skill set that they need to actually make a difference at a time when the scientists are telling us we're running out of time. So this master's program could not be more important at one level, but it is also critical for those of us who want to bring it into the world, that we do so crafted in a way that actually empowers people to do what they're capable of doing in terms of their human potential, and just need a little bit of mentoring, I would say, in order to be empowered to bring about the changes we all seek. So starting with you, Basma, and then Your Excellency, I would love to hear if you think of the master's program or the Global Council, let's say in 5 years or by 2030, what is your vision that you're bringing in to this enterprise as we begin? Because it's only if we know where we want to go that we're actually going to get there. And so as the two creators of the Global Council, really would love to hear your vision for the Council, for the Masters, for the world. Basma?
Let me just start by saying that, as you know, that also in academia, we always try to meet the community needs. And we always try to design new programs that the society and the job market actually is in need of. Mostly we used to think about engineering, used to think about business, but there is still a part that no one had thought about, which is actually the soft skills related to such program like the tolerance and peace. So it became really a vital for our academic society to think about this program as really a need of the society and the community, not just the internal community or our surrounding community, but it's the global community and the global society. So we need to nurture and equip our student with these innovative knowledge and skills. And as also you mentioned, this new generation does not need these traditional techniques in learning. They need to learn how to communicate, how to negotiate, how to be tolerant, how to accept each other, how to respect also each other, how to live with compassion and empathy. This is also very important. So this program of tolerance and peace is one of the new programs and needed program by our society, our global society, our global community. And I believe that once we're starting with this, we'll be really able to generate new, let's say, students or graduate and employees who are equipped with these needed skills, and they will start to make these changes, and they will start to be, like role model for the others. So we need more role models. His Excellency is one of them. And I believe many people need to be like him, need to have the same vision. Actually, our vision is derived from his vision. He has this global vision about how to make a difference in the whole world. So we work toward that, and we believe that really by 2030, we will have more peace builders and tolerance advocates equipped with the needed skills. So it's not just about the title that they get, it's about the skills that they are equipped with, starting with this program, this master program, and later on followed by the PhD, and then going down to the bachelor, and then focusing also on other training programs. And already we discussed this with you, Jim, like having some nano courses and nugget courses and other types of courses that have these skills that we can also, like a type of workshop or seminars that can be delivered to our students. For sure, it's not easy to make the change, as Leslie just mentioned, that we need to unlearn and then to learn. For sure, there will be a resistance in order people are used to do things, are used to live in that, let's say, concept or context. But right now, we're gonna make these changes with for sure all the directions and all the guidance that we get from His Excellency and the whole team of the Global Council, with the collaboration with such entities like your university and for sure others. So this is what I would like to add, and then I'll leave the floor for His Excellency.
Thank you, Basma. Your Excellency, your vision.
Yes. Well, thank you very much. Actually, I will stress again in what Dr. Basma mentioned and said. Yes, the challenges we are facing now is to, first of all, to furnish this platform with students, or with a batch of students who will continue what we started with, to pass to them the responsibility to continue in building and building on the platform we formed. So this is and I think from the what we learned and what we saw from our partners from all around the world, Latin America, North America, Asia, Europe, Asia, Africa, we saw, Your Excellency, how the leaders and the academic people are interested in joining us in this journey, and they saw how is the importance and of having this this culture, let me say, of tolerance. I think in 10 or 9 years from today, we will grow up and many of the universities going to have this. In schools also, Minister of Education, they will have this in their curriculums to teaching the student in the base, Your Excellency. By this program, the master degree and PhD, PhD program, we would like to form or to create or to make this group, these leaders. They will be the pioneer, not us. We are facilitating for them the mission work. We are looking to form those leaders, and then we go down and studying in the school, in the high school, and even to go until the kindergartens, let me say, to feed the mind of the student, of the children, of the peace and the love, and also showing them or telling them that their dreams of good life is possible. We just need to work on it. So we as GCTP and you, Your Excellency, also are one of the most important peoples now in this stage to see how we can form this program and how we can upgrade it as well in the future, and see how we can go very, very far with it. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. It's been a pleasure meeting you today. And I'd like to close on just the note that Basma made, that what's required here is moral leadership. And Your Excellency, I think you exemplify the kind of moral clarity and moral leadership that is distinguishing not only the Global Council for Tolerance and Peace, but bringing into this endeavor the kind of ethical standard that we all need. It was Gandhi that said that be the change that you seek. And I think that you've exemplified that in a very, very powerful way, not only in your professional career, but in your initiative to develop this global council. So I just want to acknowledge you and thank you for the kind of moral leadership that the world needs. And also to say that we at Ubiquity, you've heard Shelley Alcorn, and you've heard Leslie Southwick Trask today speak about their passion for this issue. As Leslie said, if we're going to regenerate the world in these critical years coming up, we have to do it in an atmosphere and with a posture of tolerance and peace. So this is a foundational impulse for Humanity Rising. And we want to acknowledge the Council and appreciate your partnership. And also, Basma, I have to say, you are a wonder woman. Working with you has been phenomenal. And Your Excellency, you could not have a better partner than Basma Al-Zain. She's phenomenal.
She is indeed.
So thank you, everyone, for joining us here at Humanity Rising as we invite the Global Council on Tolerance and Peace to join with us in the creation of this new master's program. You'll have seen the link in the chat box, but go to either the Global Council or to Ubiquity University, and you'll see the links. The program starts in September with His Excellency and a range of notables from around the world as our inaugural course. We have registration available. We have scholarships available that have been provided very generously by the Council. So please apply, and we're at your service to create a cadre of peace and tolerance activists around the world. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you again on Monday for Humanity Rising. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.